Frack, welcome to another episode of Frack The Canon. I am joined today by Kenny Jasper. What is up, good sir?
What's up, guys?
And last but not least, CJ McCree. What's up, brother?
Wise men say, forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza.
You're really gonna open with my favorite quote?
That is my favorite quote. That is my. I live my life by that.
Yes.
I live my life by that. So
whenever somebody asks me something and I don't know how to respond, that's what I say.
Wise man say, forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza.
So first, we are going to talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's a 1990s movie. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Alrighty, so let's start with that because that was one of my favorite lines. I love that. All right, let's start with that. Michelangelo, the turtle. Turtles. Michelangelo was a favorite turtle. Was one of the turtles. Not my favorite. What was your favorite turtle, guys, and why? From that movie.
I probably have said this on this show even like a bunch of times. I don't know, maybe, I don't know. But Raphael is my favorite turtle. Probably because red's my favorite color. And, growing up as a kid, you're drawing the stuff like that. But I just like Raphael's. I like the Raphael of the team typically. You know what I mean? Like that stereotype of character. You know what I mean? I'm drawn to that type of character in the team dynamic. So yeah, I like Raphael.
So yeah, I would call him the Wolverine of the Turtles. If they were the X-Men, he would be Wolverine, I feel. All right.
Yeah. So as a kid, it was Michelangelo because he's a party dude.
Everyone was Michelangelo. Everyone was Michelangelo.
Yeah, and as a kid, like you relate. You're like, oh, like goofy personality, loves pizza. Like I thought nunchucks were the coolest weapon. And then as an adult, retrospective, Raphael. I identify more with his story arc, his growing as an individual and a character. I haven't seen all of the canon or all of the cartoon stuff, so I know that they've changed some things. But in this movie, like in the course of the 3 movies, like I really enjoy his character, and he is the only one who gets to swear in the movie too.
That's true. He does. He says "damn" a lot.
At least 2 times, if not 3.
Yeah.
One of the best ones is when, because he says it at the beginning, he goes, "Damn," after he drops a sigh.
I lost the sigh. But I can get it back.
I lost my sigh.
I can get it back. I can get it back.
Yeah. And then he has that other one in the park where he shouts it and all of New York hears it.
Come back here! I'm not finished with you! Damn!
When he's actually fights Casey Jones.
Damn!
All right, freak. I got work to do.
Yeah, oh God, it's so good. Jose Canseco bat. I hope you didn't pay money for this.
Ooh. Cricket.
Nobody understands cricket. You gotta know what a crumpet is to understand cricket.
We're just gonna quote the whole movie.
I think so. Before we should stop. So I'm gonna go with mine. My favorite turtle has always been Leonardo. Well, like CJ said, it's because he's blue my favorite color. But here's the thing, Raph. I understand Raph, but I'm like, I am Raph. If that makes any sense. So I don't want to be that guy. I want to be more like calm and collected, like Leo. I'm not that guy. Like that, Leo's what I want to be, but I'm Raph. If that makes any sense.
It does.
Yeah, so
I get it. I do want to chime in.
Feedback when you see him on screen.
I think it's funny that none of us picked Donatello, but historically, Donatello is the most overpowered in all of the video games that include the Turtles.
Because he never picked.
Well, he has the bow staff too, so he has the longest range.
That's true.
Right.
Alrighty. So the movie, 1990 movie. There have been movies. There have been the Michael Bay ones. But we're gonna talk about this one. Do you guys still think this works? You think if they were to do this movie again, do you think the suits would work, or they would go with Why do you think this movie still works? Like, why do you love this movie so much?
I mean, I'll say, like, from my point of view, like, I think this movie very much works as what it is. I don't think they could like do this the same way and get the same effect that this one has. You know what I mean? Like they could do a movie like this with the costumes and stuff, and it would have to be a very stylized movie or be going for something very specific, maybe even spoofy, even, you know what I mean? But this movie works. It still works, but it very much, I don't think it could be repeated today. You know what I mean?
I don't think that they could recapture the charm that this movie has.
Okay.
Because it was kind of lightning in a bottle. You can do Jim Henson's Muppet Suits again. You can do good storytelling. I mean, it's almost beat for beat the first comic.
That's true.
But the charm that this movie somehow managed to like capture and continue forward, and like by no means is it a perfect movie, but I would call it my perfect comic book adaptation movie. They didn't really deviate too far from the story. It has its dark tones, and it's serious, but also at the same time, it's a kid's movie. It's about giant kung fu turtles. Like, they do Muppet movies today, but they're not as good as the ones from the 90s. And I don't know if that's rose-colored glasses or if it's like there's just some charm about the 90s to it.
Dude, I don't know because I was watching it recently. I found it in Spanish too. Because I'm trying to do a Spanish version with my cousins in Mexico. I'm like, no, dude, that story still holds up.
Absolutely.
I've never seen it in Spanish. So I'm like, all right, maybe if I hear it in a different language, I'm like, no, dude, that story still holds up. The story of these brothers who are learning to become ninja masters. They lose their teacher, which is we went to film school, take a shot. We're like, it's a classic hero's journey for all of them. But I'm like, okay, it's a coming of age story. Go ahead.
No, well, I mean, I don't want to trample on your thought, but just like what you're saying, you know what I mean? Those are, of course, the broad strokes, though, too, you know what I mean? But then, you can also like zoom in a little bit closer and look at, sort of things like the whole like freaking like all those kids hanging out at that, you know what I mean? Like at that freaking
at the Foot Clan thing.
Remember that? Place in the arcade or in their hangout, you know what I mean?
Like there's some like weird disconnect things for sure. Like you can see some of the actor faces underneath the suits, but like they've tried 2 Ninja Turtle movies in pure CGI, and whether it's because they wanted to go in a different direction or whatever, like those movies just didn't feel like they had any like charm or charisma to them like this movie does.
It doesn't do it. And I was just watching another movie too. Well, let's talk about this movie though. Let's talk about this movie. I just, as we saw earlier, we were quoting lines like in moments. I have so many favorite moments. What is your favorite moment? Like, I'll go last. Katie, we'll start with you.
My favorite moment is when it's after April's apartment burns down. They go to the farm. The whole farm scene from start to finish is perfect. But I love when Raph is in the bathtub and they're like trying to nurse him back into coming back awake, and Leo's like sitting there and like Raph like wakes up and
what's a guy gotta do to get some food around here?
Hey, he's awake. He wants some food. Bring some food. You're gonna be okay, Raph. You're gonna be okay.
And it sparks the joy and like fun as a kid, and like even as an adult, I still have like love for it. It's so great.
That moment still gets me. As a brother who loves him so, as other brothers. He loves him so much. I'm like, that moment still like making like I don't cry, but I'm like, that's nice, Leo. That's nice. It's not Kenny. CJ, what's yours?
Yeah, well, to speak on that too, I do love that moment too, showing that bond between the brotherly love that they had between one another. Like, even though like they were at each other's throats, like for most of the movie, it's like they still had love for one another, and they still were brothers, were family, I don't know that I could pick a favorite moment of this movie, like, because I just remember it so fondly. It's one of the first movies like I ever went to the theaters to see, and so it's just like there's just such a nostalgia. I've seen it so many times over the years as well, and like I just when I think back to this movie, it's like all in like quote forms, what you guys were doing earlier. You know what I mean? Like it's just that's what I think of this movie, and just like all the quotes that like make me smile. Like the even it had the wise man say, but like freaking, I really like the line before that. You know what I mean? Where it's like,
Pizza dude's got 30 seconds.
This is so good.
or like the lost the sideline. You know what I mean?
32 and a half. 32 and a half. This is a 32 and a half down
We're
here.
standing on it, dude.
Yeah.
I gotta get a new route. I know this movie.
Dude, I watch this movie at least once a year. Not even joking.
Probably about the same. Like maybe not the whole movie, but maybe clips of it. I'm like, okay, I think there's so much. I guess one of my favorite moments, like one of my favorite character moments, like story moments, is when Daddy comes back and he finds Shredder.
Whatever happened to this Oroku Saki?
No one really knows, but you wear his symbol upon your brow.
I'm like, that is like as a kid that went, whew. But now I'm like, damn, that's deep.
Yeah.
Shredder, not Shredder, Splinter.
Splinter is like the Mr. Miyagi role in this, like more so than
Yes.
you really see him. So fantastic. And like it's almost, you kind of forget that he's gone for like a good chunk of it, or like not a main focal point. But then like when he's on screen, he has like those impactful moments, like the when they summon him and they do like the spirit flame.
And always remember the true force that binds you. The same as that which brought me here tonight. That which I gladly return with my final words. I love you all, my sons.
So good.
That moment, like I was laughing and then crying. I'm like, if Leo, it doesn't work. No, I get prepared. And he has the mushroom. Was it Donnie who had the mushrooms? Yeah, Donnie.
Yeah.
What else? There's another moment too that I forgot. Oh, that moment where they're just fighting between the Shredder and the Turtles. That fight scene just dope.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. The only thing, and I didn't think about it until CJ pointed it to me, was that it's the one that Splinter takes out Shredder, not the Turtles. I'm like, you're right, it is. I forgot. That's why I forgot about me.
The Turtles like they all fight him one-on-one and get whooped, and then they try to fight him together and get whooped. And also like without question, my favorite part of that soundtrack is the Shredder like theme that's playing during that fight scene. It's like this doom doom, and then like picks up. That's so good. And yeah, like they toss down their weapons, and like Shredder like goes, "You fools!" Like maybe together. Go take it.
He dies.
Huh?
Weapons. Now. Fools. The three of you might have overpowered me with the loss of but one. Now your fate will be his.
Yeah.
I've only watched the movie a couple times. A couple. CJ, he wanted to say something.
I'll put it like this. That just feeds into like that is a superhero movie pet peeve that I have. It's just a pet peeve, and that's like a bias that I have against. I hate when like the titular characters can't beat the bad guy like by themselves. Like I kind of just hate that. You know what I mean? Like it bugs me, and I felt like that moment, like almost like what he was like saying, like look, like freaking they took what you just said. They took him on separately and they lost. They should have been able to take him on together and overcome him. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, but that was just my stupid opinion on it.
I always took that as they're still teenagers. Like I think because they're giant turtles, you kind of you forget that mentally they're still 16, 17, 18, if not younger in this movie. And Shredder's this like kung fu master.
Like they're teenagers. They're still learning. They're still mastering the jitsu.
Yeah, and that's one of those, like I do agree. Like I have a pet peeve with like what CJ said. Like So in like Infinity War, they throw everything at it and like it's not enough, but that's building suspense. And that all like I'm attacking one of the better ones to do it too. But in this movie, I always think like it makes sense logically here because they're teenagers.
With attitude. Wrong franchise. Sorry, wrong franchise.
Kind of.
Kind of, yeah, I mean, you're not far off.
It's still that same generation. Anything else you want to
Similar
talk about? Yeah,
theming.
exactly. Anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to talk? I just wanted to just like gush on the massive dick that is Ninja Turtles. Go ahead, TJ.
Any word to say on the villain?
The villain Shredder. Like I always never felt Shredder's like growing up, even as a kid. Like I didn't feel his threat in the cartoons. I kind of felt it here at the very end, but then he gets killed, right? He gets killed, but he comes because it's a kid cartoon. But I'm like, what threat are you? Because they were just kidnapping, right? Not kidnapping. They were stealing. Like he looks cool and everything, but what was the end goal though? Like he was just like, right? Does that make sense?
Well, the Foot Clan and corrupting the youth, and like, because like the Foot Clan in the cartoon are robots. One, because they need some faceless henchmen that you can destroy, but in this it's like kids, and not only kids, but they have like a dope warehouse where they're allowed to do whatever they want and like listen to music, party, smoking cigarettes.
I remember that
like,
line. Got cigarettes?
Regular or menthol?
Check it out, man. Anything you guys want, we got. Anything you want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Anything. You got any cigarettes? Regular or menthol?
So good. And so like it's kind of and I think that's why we get Danny as a character, because he's supposed to be the most relatable one to like the teenage crowd. Whereas like, yeah, he doesn't like his dad. He thinks his dad's kind of a dork and like wants to go do cool stuff, like hood rat stuff with his friends and like be a degenerate. And then like he meets the turtles and the turtles kind of like passively like change him for the better. Because he sees like, you know, like, oh, there's like I can do good or be good, and like still, I don't know, I'd say like whoop ass because the turtles whoop ass, but to comment on what you said about but Shredder though, he gets tossed into the dumpster or the garbage truck. Casey Jones just flips the switch on him, like that dude's dead.
He murdered that dude.
Casey Jones murdered a man.
Casey Jones cold blood first degree murdered a man. Regardless of
Whoops.
Right,
he's like,
joke.
that's all I have. I just said like I love this movie. It still holds up. I think it's amazing. I maybe it's the nostalgia in me, but I still remember it was like TJ said. I don't remember seeing it in theaters. I know I saw it in theaters because the one scene I remember is when April opens the door, they look sad. She goes, "What's wrong?" Like Splinter. That just burned in my head. One of my first memories, like one of my last memories, as I'm dying.
Yeah.
Head.
So good.
Your final comments, final thoughts on Turtle Power? TURTLE Power.
Power. Oh my God! Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Let's ignore the fact that some of the lyrics in that song are incorrect, but
I don't care. It's a cool song.
I don't know either. Still sing it.
I put it out when I work out at the gym.
Nice.
CJ, your final thought. Was that your final thought, Kenny?
Oh no, I'll say something else. Oh, sorry. Yeah, now like I don't think it's necessarily like rose-colored glasses with this one. Like there's plenty of other movies that I would willingly admit that. This, I think, we're shouting into the void, and anybody our age has probably already seen this movie and enjoys it. But if you need a trip to like get away and be a kid again for an hour and 30 minutes, because that's the runtime of this movie, watch it. It's still as fun today as it was when we were children, and more so because there's adult tones that are hidden in there that you don't get as a kid. Yeah. You go back and watch. We talked about them in this episode. You go back and you see them now as adult, and like it reminds you like who to be and how to be, and that do good. At least that's always been my takeaway from it.
CJ.
Final thoughts. I love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, man, in all the forms. I just like happen to be wearing this shirt too, like not even on purpose, just freaking. It's just in my rotation, you know what I mean? Like freaking. But you know, it starts back then. You know what I mean? Back when I caught the Turtles young, I was inundated with it. So freaking, you know, this movie, but anything Turtles though. But you know, this movie, it's cheesy, good fun. Yeah. Because it's easy and it's good. And it's
The second movie's way cheesier.
No, yeah, no,
The second movie is awesome though. I still like the second movie. That's another episode.
It's still a really good movie.
That's a fun one. We'll talk about that one in the next episode. Yeah.
We'll do all three. Why not?
I'm down.
Yeah.
Watch that third one again.
I was gonna say we might all have to rewatch the third one.
I don't remember. I just remember the third one being born in the theater. As a 7-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they tried to go for like a Turtles in Time aspect, but they went way the other way with it.
Alrighty. Well, thank you, Kenny. Thank you, CJ, for joining me, for nerding out and reflecting on our childhood. I'll see you. Stay in Frack Time. Stay in Frack Channel. Eat pizza every day. Frack off.
Cowabunga.
So you beat me. I should have got in with that. Yes. Damn.
Damn.